All right, you guys. Well, we are here to talk about the summer flex plan and see if this might be something that you want to be a part of. And so tonight, I thought we'd just go over it. We'll go over where the idea came from, what's involved, and all of that. But before we do, I thought maybe we could just a few of us could just jump in and just kind of share why did you show up? Like, how are you kind of stuck? What's going on with you? Like, what interested you about this? You can just raise your virtual hand or come off mute. Emily,
Hi.
hey there.
Sorry, I'm eating my dinner. But I am interested in this because I've been struggling hardcore for so long, and it's been creeping up and creeping up and creeping up, and I'm tired of it. I don't feel nearly as good as I did last summer. I felt real good last summer, and so I want to get back to that and then some. And I also just see a lot of us struggling, and a lot of my clients are struggling and everything. I'm on day one of the 5-in-1, and right now I feel really strong. So hopefully I'll stay with that, but I'm really interested to hear what this is about as well.
Good.
And I'm excited.
Awesome. Thank you. Debbie.
Okay. Okay. I I hit perimenopause and I am off and I'm using it as an excuse, or I feel like I am. I'm trying to I don't know, I don't know. Anyway, I can't seem to get on and stay on. And I don't know if it's because of the hormones are making me not feel right, that's making me not do the things, or if it's I don't know, it's a vicious cycle and I'm need to stop it. Um, and I'm just ready. And then I bought the EAAs and I don't even take them every morning and I don't know why. And so now I'm like, oh, I'm not moving and I'm not taking the EAAs and I'm worried about my muscle mass and it's like anxiety, but it's like nothing's getting better. And I know it's all me that I control it all. And here I am not doing anything. And so I'm like, oh, other people are struggling too. Oh, tell them I'm not alone. And so if you've got something new and different and I gotta get my act together.
Yeah. Yeah. We probably have time for one more quick share. Go ahead, Robin.
Yeah, I mean, yes to all of this. Yeah, I find myself in the exact same space, and I don't know that I can pinpoint one thing, right? I've been trying to think what is it? Is it work stress? Is it family stress? Is it co-parent stuff? Is it perimenopause? Is it just like losing steam? I can't pinpoint it, which I feel like has made it challenging for me then to make course corrections. And it's been, I think, a lot of negative self-talk also then that has creeped in, like, what's wrong with me? Like, I've been able to do this before. Why can't I do it now? And then ultimately there's the domino effect then with my own health and then to clients. And so this was just like perfect timing. So I'm excited to learn what exactly it is that you've got up your sleeve, Dee.
Well, and like you're not alone, right? If I'm up here saying, okay, we need something, but I've learned through working with my trainer that the 5-in-1 is not the right plan for me anymore, just because of how long I've been doing this, the amount that I work out, the muscle build I want to do, it's just not the right plan. But I know I need structure. I need structure, to it. So just as you're here, I mean, it doesn't change that intrinsic motivation still has to exist, and I think it's there's something within you that wants to make change, right? Maybe you're not doing it, but you're uncomfortable with where you are. So that tension still needs to be there, and clarity. Why would it be worth it to do it? So this is a plan that has more freedom, but as I always said, with teenagers, with freedom comes responsibility. So it's not as clear cut as the 5-in-1. Right. But what I also think about this that's really good is that it honestly teaches us how to become friendly and comfortable with all food groups. Because does anybody think, well, I'm not supposed to eat fruit, but then you'll eat a cookie? Or is that just me? You know what I mean? Or are we scared of bread? Or are we, you know what I mean? So we haven't developed this potentially or fallen away from a healthy relationship with all food groups, which is really not what we're promoting, right? If we really want to create and be that, we would be comfortable eating the food group, like once we got to our goal. All right. So where this idea came from, let me just share my screen for just a second, was I saw another leader post about this, and she has actually been following it, has other people doing it, and another coach friend of mine is doing it. So I was like, okay, do tell, what is this? So they were putting it out there to the world, and we can put this out to the world. But what I thought was, I really want to try this and know what it feels like and get comfortable, so that I can kind of get a feel for what does happen with it. And then when I go to coach somebody else on it, I would have experience, right? Evaluated experience. So this plan takes into consideration, you're still going to be eating 6 times a day, but basically it's going to be 2 servings of the active whey protein, which is, so if you don't have that, you would have to order it and get it. But the active whey protein, I mean, it's like 20 calories more than our own shakes, but it's more than double the amount of protein in it. And whenever you're doing, this is going to be a reduced calorie plan, around 1,200 calories. And I actually ran through the sample meal plans that that they have with it. And, you know, it is going to be important, you guys, that you track your food and make sure you are getting about 1,200 calories. Because if you start dropping too low, you could potentially compromise muscle mass, et cetera. And these plans, when you follow it this way, it's going to give you about 100 grams of protein a day, and some days even a little bit more. So it's a good amount of protein for your muscle preservation during this process. So basically 2 servings of the whey protein, which you would do as a shake or whatever, and then 1 fueling a day. So just one. So the brownie, what is
How much
that?
protein did you say we're getting in a day?
Approximately 100. Like my recommendation is going to be you track in MyFitnessPal, but with these sample meal plans, as I was figuring them out, you're getting a minimum of 100 grams of protein. And she's frozen.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then you're going to get, so the 2 servings of the whey protein, 1 serving of the of a regular fueling. And then you're going to have a lean and green meal, just like the portions that we do today. And then you're going to have 5 to 6 servings from basically the Healthy Exchange list. This is, you guys, the GLP-1 nutrition kit, the new kit that they came up in the plan they came up with for the GLP-1. They're actually, this coach I spoke to, they're like, we're actually using this because it is giving all the food groups about, you know, and about 1,200 calories a day plus the 100 grams of protein. So Rebecca, before I go any further, you have a question?
I just want to make sure I heard this correctly, or maybe you said to track the protein in MyFitnessPal. Did you say that?
So here's what's and I'm gonna show you some of the sample meal plans. And I was going over this with somebody, and they were like, and it was like, the suggested meal plan says add half a cup of rice to half a cup of brown rice, or whatever is 1/3 cup of brown rice to your to the lean and green meal. And the person said to me, well, I don't care about brown rice, so I wouldn't do that. And so I actually ran through MyFitnessPal, like less is not necessarily going to serve you well on this. And Julie, you could probably testify to this, and jump in if you want to say anything around caloric deficit versus fat burn. But by not putting that brown rice in, it dropped the calories down way below 1,200. It was down around 1,000 calories. There was less protein and whatever. So when I use MyFitnessPal to track, because if you start, you're going to have 5 sample meal plans. These were developed by Optavia, 5 sample meal plans. If you follow that to a T, I would say you don't need to enter that into MyFitnessPal, but it can be a great way to track, to make sure you got everything in. Or if you start substituting things, I just think it's a really good way to track. You don't have to track in MyFitnessPal, but I'm just going to suggest it to you. So let me show you. You can find this in the back office, and I will pop in the link for it as well. But let me show you the actual, this is straight from the back office on the GLP-1 nutrition plan. Give me just a sec. They actually have, this is on Coach Answers sample meal plans for medically supported weight loss. And I'll post the link once I do the share the recording for this. Let me move this bar. I can't get that to move. Okay, you guys probably have a gray bar across the screen and I can't get it to move right now, so I apologize. But can you see this where it says view sample meal plans? Yes. So like the daily meal plans, it says each day throughout the meal times, we recommend incorporating the following food groups: 1 Optavia Fueling, 2 servings of the whey protein, 1 lean and green meal, and it's our exact proportions for that, and then 6+ servings of nutrient dense, high fiber whole foods. Drink plenty of water. They're suggesting we take a daily vitamin, multivitamin with it, because you're not getting all those 5 fuelings with the vitamins and minerals in it. And it says we recommend keeping a food journal to ensure adequate intake throughout your journey with Optavia. So the sample day 1 looks like this. And I'm not going to read through them all, but I just want to give you an idea of what this would sound like. For breakfast, you would have a protein shake recipe, which is 1 serving of the Optavia whey protein prepared with 1/2 cup ice, 1 cup spinach, and 1/2 of a large banana. So you're adding in vegetables and fruit into that shake, and then you would have a daily mineral and vitamin supplement. Mid-morning, Optavia Fueling. So the cereal, whatever floats your boat, you have your Optavia Fueling. For lunch, it's just a fueling. You can have the other half of the banana with 12 almonds or 4 walnuts. So it's not much, but you're getting in fruit or whatever. That's your mid-afternoon. Dinner, they give a sample lean and green recipe, and you add in the 1/3 cup of brown rice. And then for dinner, a small apple. Okay, now you could exchange things. Now these are healthy exchanges. So like I might exchange, if I don't want to have that many fruits in a day, I might exchange a 2 Good yogurt, a healthy as my evening snack. Right? So you can work off the healthy exchange list, but that's where I was saying you may want to track it just to make sure you get your calories at about 1200, your proteins at like 100, and that you haven't forgotten anything. Because we're so used to not eating a lot of these foods, I think it's going to be an acclimation period. And then there are 5 different ways and combinations. Another day, I'll just do one more real quick, is in the morning, you have the whey protein shake. You have a piece of whole grain toast with a tablespoon of nut butter. I mean, that's heaven to me. Like, what? A piece of toast with some almond butter or peanut butter? Have your vitamin, have your mid-morning fueling. For lunch, have that 2nd serving of whey protein with a medium pear, or you could throw some strawberries or something in it. Mid-afternoon, maybe some baby carrots. You could probably do a little bit of fat-free, the ranch dressing or something with it as your condiments. And then your lean and green meal, add in a 1/2 cup roasted sweet potatoes with it, and then some raspberries for dessert. So again, this is going to be a plug and play. And they have down here at the end of it, the nutrient dense, high fiber whole foods list. And it says, use this or use the healthy exchange list. And it gives you all these options: what to eat for a fruit, what to eat for vegetables, what to eat if you're going to have a starch, 3 cups air pop popcorn, 1 slice of whole grain bread, 1/2 cup cooked oatmeal. So it's stuff that we're not typically used to eating, healthy fats. All right. And you are going to want to get all of these in during the day. That's a lot. Questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
Have you started doing this? Is it working?
I'm starting tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm starting tomorrow. Now, I had told Vicki, we were talking this through, is that I was getting super frustrated because when I was on the 5-in-1, I was only losing like a 1/2 pound a week. And I was like, this is maddening. It doesn't work for me anymore. But my trainer shared with me, because based on the muscle mass I have, my resting metabolic rate, like I can only eat about 1,400 to 1,500 calories a day without gaining weight. And so, in order to maintain my weight. So when I was doing the 5-in-1, let's say it was 800 to 1,000 calories, I wasn't creating that much of a deficit during the course of the week. So to lose a 1/2 pound to a pound made sense. So for me, a smaller person, I mean, honestly, if I could lose a pound a week, I would be happy, because right now I'm on the up, not the down. So if I could lose, you know what I mean? So I would just say, know that you're not going to be in fat burn. It's not a fat burning plan. So you may feel a little different. You may feel more hunger, but most of us are not on 5 and 1 anyway, if you're on this call, right? And then there's a caloric deficit versus, so you're just going to feel a little bit different. And Julie, I don't know with your experience, if you want to share anything.
I was just going to say, it'll be interesting how people's results are, because the nice part, like you said, is when you can be in fat burn, you get this double dipping results happening, because you've got the fat burn happening and you can have a deficit at the same time. So if you guys are tinier or shorter, you're just going to be like Dee, where you can't go too low in calories on a calorie deficit. Like you don't want to go below 1100, 1200 calories. But if you're what we call your BMR, your TEE, is 1500, let's say, to get a pound a week, that's 500 calories a day, but you can't have that much of a deficit every day. So you're going to have to find a balance and be happier maybe with slower progress. But honestly, I think this is amazing.
Right? I'm excited. I'm excited about it. Thank you for that. Rebecca.
So the calorie deficit, are we talking literally in the calories in? We're not talking about creating any of that deficit from movement, or so you're
Well,
talking.
this is, it's just all I'm really explaining. That's a great question. This is just a caloric deficit plan versus a fat burning plan. When you do
Right.
5 and 1, you actually go into a mild state of ketosis for your weight loss, right? You will not go into ketosis. So it's called caloric deficit. So yes, if you are actively working out, you will burn more calories, right? And you will potentially lose maybe at a faster pace than.
Okay. Curious that if we get to add the fruit, I'm continually kind of trying to make small meals from the suggested stuff in Dr. A's book. And I'm wondering if there can be a combination of the protein and the fruit together whenever I'm eating the fruit. Just so that, but I think you might not necessarily, I just wonder if I eat an apple alone, in 5 seconds, I'm going to be feeling starving. But if I eat an apple with the yogurt and the like peanut butter protein powder, then I'm good. Like I may as well have eaten a full meal, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I really am a proponent of pairing carbs and protein. And if you look at this GLP-1 plan, remember, these are people that their appetite has been greatly suppressed. It was really designed for that, right? So you can't go out toting this like Optavia came up with this great new plan for us. I mean, we're taking a plan that's actually designed for something else and kind of bending the rules saying, let's use it this way. But I think if it could serve and help people like us as coaches and then our clients, I think it's great because it's just a $1,200 or 1,200 calorie reduced plan with some structure to it, and using these products that have higher levels of protein so that we can protect our muscle mass. And I kind of lost my train of thought of what I was going to say with that. So, but I do think it's brilliant that we can do it, and then just evaluate your experience, how you feel. So yeah, that's what I was going to say. This was designed for people who have very little appetite. So if they could sit down and eat a half a cup of baby carrots and get it in, well, that's better nutrition than not eating something or whatever, because they're not really hungry anyway. But that might not be your experience, right? Because you're not on the GLP-1, on the medication. So yeah, pair things up. Or like I said, I might go for a yogurt versus a piece of fruit just because I'm going to feel better eating that. Okay, Beth.
So do we still get our serving of EAAs?
Yeah, you could add in a serving of EAAs with that as well. Yeah.
Okay. Can we have 2 fuelings a day or just 1? Could like one of the healthy exchanges be your fueling? Because I like my coffee, my hot chocolate in the morning.
Yeah. I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's gonna plug it into MyFitnessPal. And again, like Julie said, try not to do less than 1,100 to 1,200, whatever. And then I just personally do better if I keep my carbs on the lower side. So if you're like an Optavia shake, the whey protein shake, it's only got 2 grams of carbs in it. So you can get a lot of protein with really low carbs. So the fueling is just going to add more carbs to it as well. But just play with it and plug it in. And if it works better, like 2 whey proteins and 2 2 fuel lanes and then whatever, I mean, then do that.
Okay.
Hey Dee, it's Monica. What carb level should we be trying to shoot for? You said 100 grams of protein, but is there a sweet spot for the carbs?
You know, I like my carbs around 85 to 100. If I'm trying to lose. Julie, I don't know if you want to tap in here.
I would still, like, when I've had conversations with nutrition support, they've still said to keep the macros, which are your carbs, protein, and fat, keep them at 40% carbs, 40% protein, and 20% fat. So that's what I do that when I do meal plans with clients that aren't Optavia. It's 40, 40, and 20. So that's
Wait,
Okay.
what
repeat that for, please.
yeah, 40% carbs, 40% protein, and 20% fat, which will be exactly kind of like what Dee just said. It'll balance out and you'll see the carbs come in probably around 100 grams, the protein around 100, and then your fat will be on the lower side.
Yeah. But get your healthy fats in too, because they will help with your getting your calories up as well, you know, and what you need for that. So, all right, somehow I lost you guys. I'm trying to come back. Linda, I know your hand was up.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, is this something, I have a few clients that I would love to throw this out to them now because they've been struggling, they're on and off, they've been doing 5 and 1-ish for 6 months, and there's only so much encouraging that you can do. And do we need to wait until this has been endorsed by Optavia?
Oh, I don't know that they're going to endorse it. I was looking really just to do this for our team to, I'm putting the coach answers thing in the chat. I'm just looking to do it for our team. And this is what I thought. We've had so many new things coming that if I just said on a team call, like, hey, there's a new plan you could offer and whatever, most of us may or may not do it if we hadn't had some evaluated experience with it. And so I really, as a team, kind of wanted to do this so I could track and say, hey, we had, you know, potentially it was 22 on this call. Let's say 20 of us decide to see it through. I can give some evaluated experience, but if you feel comfortable and you want to go ahead and put it out there, and now that you've seen it, Coach Linda, you've coached a long time and you want to, I mean, as an independent coach, you could definitely put that out there.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I did send it out to my clients, guys, before I thought about this pilot group with the coaches. I was piloting it, and like I sent it out to my inactives, and I just said, do you need more flexibility with your plan, you know, and whatever. And I can share that email with you that I sent. But I had one person come back, and she had actually gone on the drugs, and she was like, I'm telling you, I'm not eating. And when I do eat, it's crap. So she thought it was brilliant with it. Before we go on, I want to answer the other 2 questions, but I'm also kind of watching the clock for when team time is going to start. So I'm going to pop something else in the chat. I do have a Google form. And if you think you want to participate in this, I'd like you to fill that out so we can track. Because what I want to do is create a Facebook Messenger thread for us so we can communicate and ask questions. And that's going to be, this is still about the 4 components of the program, you guys. And as we roll it out, we still want to coach our clients and whatever. So there's kind of an agreement if you're going to do this. What I'm thinking is you do it for 3 weeks. And so we'd all be doing it like up prior to convention time or whatever, to have a good amount of time to experience it. You could start now. You know, tomorrow, if you have whey protein in stock, go ahead and start. If you ordered tonight, you could have it. And I would say, as long as all of us could start by Monday, July 1st, you know, you can pick your start day anywhere in there. We don't have to be like ready, set, go at the same time. But basically an agreement, like, you know, pull out your life book again or your Habits of Health book. You know, you can talk to me as your coach during this 3-week period, or talk to your coach, whatever, but just do the things to get your mind back in it to be able to help your clients do this. And what I don't ever want to do is get into more products like do this plan. And we know if you or me or any of our clients are just doing a plan without the components, all we're doing is just changing the diet, and we'll probably stay stuck with it. So, Robin, go ahead. And while you're doing that, I'm just going to grab the link to the Google form if you guys want to.
Yes. Yeah, I'll be super quick. The first question I had was about the EAAs, but Beth already asked that and you already answered that. The second question I have is just about healthy movement. I know when we start clients, or when we started on the 5 and 1, for example, we had to be mindful about how much exercise and the intensity of exercise, especially on the front end. Are you aware of any kind of activity considerations that we should be mindful of, especially on a lower calorie deficit plan or calorie deficit plan?
You know, I think if you did the EAAs with your exercise, I think you would be okay. I said, just evaluate how you feel. with
Okay.
it. You know, how do you feel? How do your muscles feel? Like, you know, signs that you're pushing it too hard is when you just have that fatigue,
Yeah.
like I can barely move my legs. But if you feel good, I plan to do my normal exercise routine without
Okay.
any modification and doing the serving of the EAAs.
With
a
the
day.
EAs. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, I think we'll wrap it up with you real quick, Debbie.
Okay, so a couple of things. One, I thought about, okay, was one fueling a day, so that's definitely going to mean a smaller order that the clients make. So that's going to change our pay, like what, you know, like what we're compensated. Wondering about like, so I saw a number of those fuelings that were saying, okay, we'll do carrots or do strawberries or raspberries or whatever. And I thought, well, what if I just said do half of a whey protein and half of your berries and then half of again and half, like, so then at least you're doing your protein and
Yeah,
your
we can do
carbs
that.
together. And then I was wondering about like, so I know like the recommendation on those EAAs is to drink it within like 30 minutes of mixing it. And I don't know if there's a good reason for it. And so I thought, I don't know if whey protein, like I know like before I ever even heard about Optavia, I was doing that. Like I would work at the pharmacy and I would drink part of my whey, my shake, you know, at one point, and then I drink the other half of it later on in the day. So is it possible to go ahead and mix like a full whey protein and drink half with
I
half
think so.
my, yeah, okay.
I think so.
Well, those
I
are my
am
questions.
going to stop this recording, you guys, so that we can start team time on time and let other people in that are coming in the waiting room. But if you fill out this Google form and your name goes on it, I just put it in the link, and I'll also post this recording later. But if you fill that out, then I'm going to add you to the private messenger group, and we'll start with that and keep the conversation going. And we can always regroup in another Zoom if we need to this week. All right, who's excited?
Me?
Yeah, awesome. Awesome. Very good. All right. Let me stop this recording and start the next one.
So Dee, I saw Dan Valentine